Welcome in Craft and Design 3.0 for my dear guys, for my dear lovely audience. In this video, I will describe the sculptural garden art using metal nut and bolt or nut and bolt garden decoration ideas. My dear guys, some creative ideas for sculptural garden art using metal nut and bolt. First of all, animal sculpture, metal bird sculpture. Use nut and bolt to create a beautiful bird sculpture for your garden. And in animal sculpture, a bolt bunny is also create a cute bunny sculpture using metal bolt and nut. So nutty squirrel, use nut and bolt to create a playful squirrel sculpture for your garden. So some metal butterfly, create a beautiful butterfly sculpture using metal nut and bolt. And bolt horse, use metal bolts and nut to create a stunning horse sculpture for your garden. And a nutty frog, my dear guys, create a fun frog sculpture using metal nut and bolts. So metal dragonfly, use nut and bolt to create a beautiful dragonfly sculpture for your garden. And bolt deer, create a stunning deer sculpture using metal bolts and nut. And a nutty turtle, use metal nuts and bolt to create a cute turtle sculpture for your garden. And a metal snake, create a beautiful snake sculpture using metal nut and bolt. So some abstract sculptures, metal flower like as a sculpture use nut and bolt to create a beautiful flower sculpture for your garden. And a bolt mobile, my dear guys, create a stunning mobile sculpture using metal bolt and nut. And a nutty orb, use metal nut and bolt to create a beautiful orb sculpture for your garden. Metal wave sculpture, create a stunning wave sculpture using metal nut and bolt. So some bolt spiral, use metal bolt and nut to create a beautiful spiral sculpture for your garden. So nutty geometric sculpture, create a stunning geometric sculpture using metal nut and bolt. And also metal leaf sculpture, use nut and bolt to create a beautiful leaf sculpture for your garden. And a bolt curve, my dear guys, create a stunning curve sculpture using a metal bolt, dear audience. And nut, so nut maze, use metal nuts and bolt to create a beautiful maze sculpture for your garden. And a metal sphere sculpture, create a stunning sphere sculpture using metal nut and bolt. So some functional sculptures, metal bird feeder, use nuts and bolt to create a beautiful bird feeder sculpture for your garden. And some bolt bench, create a stunning bench sculpture using metal bolt and nuts. And also nutty planter, use metal nuts and bolt to create a beautiful planter sculpture for your garden. So metal wine chime, create a stunning wine chime sculpture using metal nuts and bolt. So bolt table, use metal bolts and nut to create a beautiful table sculpture for your garden. And a nutty bird bath, create a stunning bird bath sculpture using metal nuts and bolt. So metal garden marker, use nuts and bolt to create a beautiful garden marker sculpture for your garden. So bolt trellis, create a stunning trellis sculpture using metal bolt and nut. So nutty stepping, stepping stone, use metal nuts and bolt to create a beautiful stepping stone sculpture for your garden. And metal garden ornament, create a stunning garden ornament sculpture using metal nuts and bolt. Some tips and tricks, use a variety of nut and bolt sizes, experiment with different sizes of nut and bolt to create interesting texture and patterns. So add a rust resistant coating, apply a rust resistant coating to your sculpture to protect it from the elements. And use a strong adhesive such as epoxy or super glue to attach the nuts and bolt to each other and to any other material. Experiment with a different material combine nut and bolt with other materials such as wood, metal, or glass to create an interesting and a unique sculpture. Add a personal touch when you make and give it a personal touch. Incorporate personal items such as old keys or coins into your sculpture to make it more meaningful and unique. One, my dear guys, yes, I say that some both chickens you can make when we talk about some animal sculpture. A nutty dolphin, metal fish, old cat, nutty dog, metal rabbit. Create a beautiful rabbit sculpture using metal nut and bolt, and also some my dear guys, when you use a nutty dog, use metal nuts and bolt to create a cute dog sculpture for your garden. So, nutty monkey, nutty penguin, bolt koala, or you subscribe create a stunning koala sculpture using metal bolt hair nut and use nut and bolt to create a beautiful penguin sculpture for your garden. And my two guys, some bolt spiral or some nutty geometric sculptural one. And when you can, I can talk about different abstract sculpture. So some nutty maze, metal sphere. I also prescribe sculpture board private. Nutty cone create a stunning nutty cone sculpture using metal nut and bolt. So my dear guys, bolt prism you can as a abstract sculpture bolt prism and a nutty star. Create a stunning prism sculpture using metal bolt and nut, and nutty star uses metal nuts and bolt to create a beautiful star sculpture for your garden. So metal heart sculpture, create a stunning heart sculpture using metal nut and bolt. So bolt circle, use metal bolt and nut to create a beautiful circle sculpture for your garden. So my dear guys, I think that my video and my idea inspired you much, and if inspired, then subscribe my channel, like my video and share my video. Thank you.